for the farming community, instead of 10 ways to grow potatoes or tomatoes at home, how to prepare for the apocalypse. Number 10 will make you hate this group of people or some shit like that. I don't know what the farming, does the farming community have a PR team? What's up? Oh, shit. There we go. Isn't that better? I think I finally came across proof that proves my theory of technology making us more divided, and you'd be surprised because it's actually our fault. I know that every generation thinks that the other generation is the most screwed up and yada yada yada, but for a second, let's just assume that that is the case, because based on the documentation, we know that mental illness and anxiety is going through the roof, and it's almost a one-to-one correlation with technology. I don't think technology is bad. I actually think it's a tool like anything else. You can kill someone with a knife, or you can cook someone with a knife. Cook with a knife. Before we get into that, let me just say, I think it has to do with the figure of speech of boiling the frog slowly. If you ever want to cook a frog, you put it in a pot with water and then slowly raise the temperature, and if you do it slow enough, it won't realize that it's being boiled. Gruesome analogy already, but if a politician raises the price of bread, for example, from $3 to $8, then everyone's gonna lose their shit. But if everyone says, hey, we're gonna make the bread price from $3 to $15, everyone goes crazy and they say, no, never mind, we're actually gonna bring it down to $8. You see how it has the same thing, but now the people who are getting screwed over don't think they're being screwed over? For a second, let's just not blame other people and see what we can do. Going back to the analogy of boiling the frog slowly, it's this damn algorithm, you know? It has to do with half of the algorithm and half with how human psychology works. You always need a bigger hit. Couple decades past, if you would say I don't watch the news, they would say like, what are you talking about? Like that was their bread and butter. For the majority of people, that's like the stories that they hear on a day-to-day. At one point, I remember when if you say you don't watch the news, teachers would say like, oh, it's good to keep up with the news. Do this and do that, like to keep up with world conflicts, world issues, stuff like that. Now, it's not taboo to say that at all. It's actually like the majority view where everyone says, oh, I don't watch the news. But here's where you're wrong. I started to notice like when I watch the news, I get stressed for no reason. And I don't need that stress because every year North Korea demands that they're gonna nuke the US. Every year there's always some terrorist organization with a beheading video. Every year Russia does some crazy shit. This year they're gone a little bit more than crazy shit, but besides the point, I don't need these in my life because I am not going to do anything about it, nor do I care. The thing that bugs me is I started noticing that I'm having the same reoccurring stress even when I don't watch the news. So I started thinking, well, where is the stress coming from? And I'm like, the stress comes from when I am seeing things that I don't need to see. Just because our news is not called the 7 p.m. breaking news with a guy in a tuxedo talking a teleprompter, it's still news. It's just changed to celebrity news and a culture between two personalities fighting over a topic that is completely meaningless to you and me. They make us care, and that's the best part about marketing. They're supposed to make us care. That's their job. When I started realizing that the social media is the news, how much of it is being fed to me and how much of it am I feeding to myself? Our news has become, it's just changed to celebrity news and meme news, culture between two personalities fighting over a top, and pregnancy announcements. Yes, that is what I like to watch on my free time because it brings joy that I know other people are happy. I'm not weird. You're weird. Fuck you. Not like them giving birth, but just announcing that they are pregnant. That's fuck you. And what's worse is when we get our news from these personalities who are claiming to be personalities and not news, they don't have to lie when they put in their own bias. News that is coming from podcasts and reaction videos and shit like that about the world, they are personalities, and not only that, they are on-camera personalities, which is their exaggerated version of themselves, and they come up with exaggerated opinions and exaggerated bias, and we're just going, yep, this is not news. This is funny YouTube videos. This is memes. And think about it. When you go to your favorite personality, you're going for their take on a subject. You're not going to get the subject. If you wanted that, then you could read a blog or something like that. I don't know. Sometimes I go through my feed and I see like random shit that's like commentary on something so stupid and benign, and I'm just like, I don't have to follow what the algorithm puts for me. I don't know if most people do this or maybe just I don't do this, but I don't tell the algorithm that's not interesting for me. I just scroll by, like I just don't mind. Now, how can I be of service to the people. Make the algorithm work for you. It's 2 seconds, but I feel like everyone needs to do this at some point. Just like how every time something comes into your head that you don't like, you can change that thought, and over time you'll start noticing that you're having more and more positive thoughts and the thoughts that you actually like. Just like clearing your email feed, if you don't like a newsletter that always shows up, block them, move on. If you don't like something that comes onto your YouTube feed, say uninterested, block it. You don't want more shit from this, move on. That's what I've been noticing. Don't scroll by, actually put in the effort and make the algorithm work for you. Okay, sort of sidetracking, but back to a point I made earlier. We've been told that social media is kind of like this, it's this cute fun place where you go to hang around with friends, and it's evolution of everyone uses XYZ social platform when you're in high school. Everyone uses XYZ social platform if you're dating. Everyone uses XYZ social platform when you're trying to get a job. And it seems kind of similar, as I'm saying this out loud, to what they're doing with the metaverse. Oh, it's a fun place to go and just do this and this, and then the next time it's going to be like, oh, you need to have a metaverse interview for a job. You need to have this, you need to have this. And then slowly, how do you even function in a society? If you didn't have an iPhone or some kind of smartphone, what would you do? Honestly, how are you gonna? It's kind of like what Elon Musk said, where it's like, we're already cyborgs. This is part of me at this point. All of this is somehow an extension of me, just because I haven't had it implanted into my body. The digital era has made us think that like, oh, it's all just cute, funny videos of like cats and it's just old ladies on Facebook, just people hanging around, when it's not. The news and marketing agencies got a hold of this, and now they're vying for your attention, and it's just a battle to get your attention. Up until this point, everything I've said, you've been like, yes, 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 and I've been just restating stuff so I can make a suggestion. Now, what am I talking about by extremists, and how do you become an extremist to one point? Someone called it internet drift, which I think is a really good way of explaining it. So, imagine you're a wee little baby, you have chubby little legs, you have barely any hair on your head. Mom or dad, they want you to shut up, they don't want you to play with your food or whatever, they want you to be brainwashed and mesmerized, so they put on Elsa teaches numbers. You're learning about numbers, it's all good, it's all fun. Next, you've already watched Elsa sees numbers, and you don't want to watch Shrek sees numbers or Batman reacts to numbers. What you want is something cooler. Spider-Man plays with exploding water balloon colors, and you're like, shit, that's awesome. Well, you don't say shit, you go goo goo gaga. You're thinking to yourself, fuck, this is awesome, right? As your little eyes glow up. You keep watching the cooler and cooler shit until 10 hours in or 10 minutes in, depending on how fast the process works, you'll find yourself looking at Elsa and Spider-Man have a love triangle with Shrek and the Ninja Turtles and Raphael, and then you find Spider-Man finds love with Shrek, leaving Raphael heartbroken and ready for revenge. 10-hour edition. For gamers, it might be top 10 tips and tricks for CSGO, and then it changes to I connected illegally high voltage shock collars to my friends, and if they die in Call of Duty, they die in real life. And you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And you don't notice because it's happened so gradually. You're like, yeah, this is normal. For the farming community, instead of 10 ways to grow potatoes or tomatoes at home, how to prepare for the apocalypse, number 10 will make you hate this group of people or some shit like that. I don't know what does the farming community have a PR team? Or I don't feel like they're gonna come for me. It's almost like porn, to be honest, where it's like you need something crazier the more you watch it, where it's like you need something progressively crazier the more you watch it, and because it's so slow, you don't realize the change that's been happening until you look back and you're like, what the fuck? It's kind of like the wave, how like slowly if you're on a wave pool, one wave comes and it pulls you in one direction, and you're like, I could still see the shore. One wave comes, pulls you in one direction, and then you're like, oh, it's such a nice pool. Let me just take a nap, bro. And you close your eyes for a bit. You look back in 5 minutes and the wave's taking you so far, you're like, fuck, there's seaweed everywhere. There's like, I can't see the bottom. I could barely see some people on the beach over there. Holy fuck, what is going on? And you try to swim back and other people are there with you because they're just as crazy as you. They've been watching the same Elsa gets fucked by Spider-Man video, and they're like, what the fuck's going on? That's how the kids these days, they don't even realize this is happening. So the algorithm will give you what you want. You want the cooler, crazier videos. Just know some things you think are normal are not normal because you've progressively gotten to that stage. So think about it this way. If that's happening for every genre on the platform, imagine what the fuck the people who are going to YouTube for their news, right? They're like, oh, it must be, let me see what. By the end of it, you'll either turn out to be an extremist right or extremist left. No one's going extremist moderate. The amount of people that have extreme views on one opinion farly outweighs outweigh the people that are like super moderate that are vocal. You know, there might be more people that are reasonably in the middle of the political spectrum, but it's like these guys are not the people you're going for their news for trans women athletes or what we should do in the war for Ukraine. These are not the same people. Those same people are either extremist left or extremist right about the views, or else they wouldn't even make a video on it. That's like me making a video about Harvey Weinstein, and it's a 3-second video of me just going, I mean, he shouldn't have done it, and like, yeah, that's basically it. It's like that video is not going to get views and it's not going to get pumped by the algorithm. But if I go, Harvey Weinstein is a pig, all men should die, obviously people who don't agree with me are going to click on it to hate. People who are moderate are going to be like, let me see what's going on. And then people who are super into that, the Me Too movement, are going to also be into that because they're going to be like, yeah, we should totally, like, this guy's got the right idea, and they start following me for it. Controversy. Fuck, let me see if I'm still recording. I would kill myself if I'm not. Okay, we're good. While we're on the topic of everyone getting your attention, literally everyone is vying for your attention. I am vying for your attention. Your favorite rapper who's too cool for attention, who's always thinking of his next move, and he's not even thinking about the fame. He's just so humble. What do you think his PR team is doing? He's branding himself as a humble person who's totally monk-like and doesn't want the attention because he's not ego at all. That is also a tactic so he gets your attention. It's not a nefarious way of doing it. Some people work at news stations and they do want your attention because they're trying to spread something that they truly care about. Everyone truly cares about something, or else they wouldn't make a video on it, unless they're trying to do for the money, in which case. Speaking of me vying for your attention, I'm gonna wait 5 seconds for you to go and like and subscribe, because what the fuck are you gonna do about it, right? I'm punishing you. If you don't subscribe, you have to watch the next 5 seconds of me staring at you. You must sit in silence to attain for your sense. If you skip that 5 seconds of me sitting in silence, you're a bitch and you deserve what's coming to you. Right now, I make good videos, and I know that I'm gonna make greater and better videos, and hopefully one day I'll make the perfect video. Whether you subscribe now or stick around until I make the high quality videos, I will be in your head 24/7. People have noticed that if you have attention, it doesn't matter what platform you're on, you can take your brand, your social brand, onto different platforms. And think about it, if Brad Pitt stopped acting and he did tap dancing, everyone still wants to see what the fuck Brad Pitt is doing tap dancing. That's why T.I. thinks he has a shot at being a comedian, because he's obviously not funny, but he's fucking T.I., so we want to see what he's doing as a comedian. Even if he fails terribly, it's T.I. failing terribly. If it was some random hobo failing terribly, no one gives a fuck, but it's T.I., so we want to go check that out. Guys, you have to know where value is coming from. Whether it's ones and zeros for crypto and blockchain, whether it's paper banknotes or it's gold and platinum and minerals from God knows when, your value comes from your attention these days, because there's so many people vying for your attention. Just like how $1 won't change your life today, $1 million might. And just like one video today might not change your life, 1,000 hours of you watching some news thing that you go, oh my god, that's crazy, and then the algorithm goes, yeah, alright. Fill this fucker up with more streamers reacting to fucked up shit on Live Leak. It's like, that's what apparently this guy likes to watch. Or the algorithm doesn't give a fuck what your purpose is. It just wants to know what do you like the most and what will keep you on the site the most. Go to the feed, and whatever you don't like, just get rid of it. If you do this with one video, other videos will come to take its place. It's like catching one drug dealer and going, we fixed addiction, boys. It's like, no, you can't fight the system. You have to know what the rules the system plays by, understand the loopholes in the system, and play the game better than they do. Because it's too late. If you think you can quit ever watching YouTube again or quit being in social media, there's no way you can get away from this net matrix that we're in. You need to remember your power comes from your attention. Don't follow the crowd, because the crowd is following the algorithm, and the algorithm thinks that they're making the algorithm when the algorithm is technically inspiring them, and it's kind of like a chicken or the egg situation and blah 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 blah. All you need to know is that you can stop the parts of the loop that you don't like and get rid of that on the feed. Like, for fuck's sake, think about it. If this is on my feed, Jordan Peterson, best moments. Why does this look like Does this look like Jordan Peterson is giving a speech about something insightful that's gonna help my life? No. This is obviously one of the videos of him owning SJWs or some bullshit like that. The dark reality of Drake and Josh. They were never friends. I don't give a fuck. It's called acting. I don't care if... Did you know his name's not actually Drake or Josh? And maybe it is. I don't fucking know. Was it actually? I think it was... I know Josh Peck. Wait, let me search this. Fuck, their names are actually Drake and Josh. But it's acting. I still make my point. The next one. How to yeet. That's actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. Fuck.